Throughout the 1930s, Japan attempted to expand its militaristic influence by taking control of more land in Asia. With oil and steel supplies dwindling, Japan needed territories that contained enough resources to satisfy its demands. Thus, when Japan joined the Axis alliance of World War II with Germany and Italy, the quest to imperialize became the focus of the war. Although the United States was not in the war at the time, Japan needed to make sure that nobody could interfere with their Asian expansion. To that end, Japan attacked the most advantageous military base in the Pacific, Pearl Harbor. On the fateful day of December 7, 1941, from 7:53 to 8:53 a.m., two waves of over 170 Japanese aircraft decisively attacked the military base at Pearl Harbor. After 2 hours of chaos, 18 U.S. warships had been damaged, 188 aircraft had been destroyed, and 2,403 American servicemen had been killed. The next day, on December 8, 1941, President of the United States Franklin Delano Roosevelt delivered the infamy speech, causing the United States to declare war on Japan and join the Allied forces of World War II. For 4 years, the U.S. fought against Germany, Italy, and Japan in various battles across the world. After Italy surrendered in 1943, Germany followed suit, surrendering in early 1945, leaving Japan as the sole Axis power standing in the way of the United States. On August 6 and August 9 of 1945, the United States attempted to swiftly end World War II by dropping 2 atomic bombs on the densely populated cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Created from the Manhattan Project, the bombs claimed thousands of Japanese lives and left survivors sick, burnt, or injured, and caused Japan to surrender to the United States. The atomic end to World War II, which tragically terminated Japan's imperialistic intentions, had also triumphantly birthed an effective team of scientists and engineers, a team that created a crucial weapon that saved the United States from Germany and the Axis powers. In 1939, Nazi scientists Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann had discovered nuclear fission, a chain reaction between neutrons and uranium that caused atoms to divide and release tremendous amounts of energy. Fearing the possibility of Hitler possessing an atomic weapon, physicist Leo Szilard and other Hungarian scientists convinced Albert Einstein to write a letter to President Roosevelt to warn of Germany's potential creation of a nuclear weapon. If a weapon capable of instantly killing many people came into Hitler's possession, World War II would be swung in the favor of the Axis powers, forever plunging the future into the dark, socialist rule of Nazi Germany. To prevent this situation from becoming a reality, President Roosevelt created the Uranium Committee, racing to create an atomic weapon before Germany. This group consisted of the best military and science experts to research the feasibility of creating a nuclear weapon. Time was of the essence. If the U.S. managed to create a weapon before Germany could, the war could be won quickly, resulting in less casualties on all sides. On August 13, 1942, the Manhattan District Engineer Corps was assigned to a secret military project, named the Manhattan Engineer District, or the Manhattan Project. President Roosevelt appointed General Leslie R. Groves, an Army Corps of Engineers officer, as the director of this project. In 1943, a laboratory directed by Julius Robert Oppenheimer created on the mesa of Los Alamos, New Mexico. Buying the property from the Los Alamos Ranch School, Oppenheimer chose the remote location to ensure that the project was kept confidential, so the scientists had a safe environment to share their ideas freely without the risk of enemy spies exposing the development of the atomic bombs. Dividing the responsibilities of making the bombs to further expedite the rigorous process, many more sites were set up to contribute. Sites such as Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Hanford, Washington, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Dayton, Ohio, and a site in Canada were set up to find or create fissionable materials for the bombs. Meanwhile, at Chicago University, Enrico Fermi and a team of physicists researched the atomic pile, a nuclear reactor. On December 2, 1942, the Chicago team created the first man-made, self-sustained nuclear reaction. This discovery validated that radioactive elements could be created by artificial means that were not found from nature. Meanwhile, a secret community began to grow at the Los Alamos Laboratory. Construction workers and engineers built laboratories, residences, and facilities for the scientists and their families, with the military providing tight security. Oppenheimer began looking for gifted individuals to work at Los Alamos, recruiting 6 Nobel Prize winners and talented individuals from colleges across the U.S. The laboratory was split into 4 divisions to allow experts to work in their fields of expertise. In the scientific environment, every individual was part of a bigger picture. Army personnel were in charge of security, physicists developed theories, chemists analyzed fissionable materials, and supervisors created plans for the project. Everyone at Los Alamos was part of a team that would single-handedly change the course of World War II. By early 1945, the team had nearly completed 2 atomic bombs in addition to a test bomb. Although the bombs were meant to be used on Germany, the German forces surrendered in May of 1945, a month before the detonation of the test bomb. This event forced the United States to redirect their scientific weapon towards a different target, Japan. In June of 1945, the scientists at Los Alamos set up a tower for the atomic test bomb called Trinity. On July 16, 1945, at 5:30 a.m., the first atomic bomb was successfully detonated at a test site in Alamogordo, New Mexico. The test bomb immediately created a giant fireball that rose to 10,000 feet, as well as a radioactive mushroom cloud. Finally, the scientists had completed their jobs, while work was merely starting for the military. From July 17th to August 2nd, 1945, the Potsdam Conference was held in Berlin to discuss foreign affairs and peaceful relations with the 3 Allied leaders, President Harry S. Truman, Premier Joseph Stalin, and Prime Minister Winston Churchill. As a result of this conference, a document called the Potsdam Declaration was sent to Japan to request the unconditional surrender of all Japanese armed forces. To this demand, Japan promptly refused, sealing its atomic fate. On August 6, 1945, at 8:16 a.m., the Enola Gay, piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets, dropped a uranium gun-type bomb nicknamed Little Boy over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. After falling for less than a minute, the bomb detonated, releasing a blast that was equal to over 15,000 tons of TNT, killing, burning, and destroying anything that was exposed to its atomic wrath. 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, another B-29 bomber called Boxcar headed to the Japanese city of Nagasaki. Likewise, at 11:02 a.m., a plutonium implosion bomb called Fat Man was dropped above a crucial metalworking factory, killing 39,000 and injuring 25,000 Japanese. From the bombs, Japan was caught completely off guard, causing chaos in the Japanese society, army, and government. As a result, Japan admitted defeat and accepted the terms of the Potsdam Declaration. On September 2, 1945, diplomats representing the Allied forces and the Empire of Japan went aboard the USS Missouri, docked in Tokyo Bay. On board lay the Japanese Instrument of Surrender that formally acknowledged the unconditional surrender of all Japanese armed forces. Due to the surprise bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Representatives Minister Mamoru Shigemitsu and General Yoshijiro Umezu signed the document, formally ending World War II, an era of death, devastation, and destruction. After years of teamwork and collaboration, the scientists' efforts had finally paid off. In the face of adversity, the Manhattan Project team triumphantly worked together to create the atomic bombs, a deciding factor in the tragic end of World War II. The Manhattan Project will forever stand as an example of a time when Americans experienced great hardship and subsequently came together to risk everything for the future of the United States. In the words of Henry Ford, founder of the Ford Motor Company, if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself.